And welcome to Writer's Life, a place where you get the sight, sound, smells, taste of my particular writer's life. Where you get the truth, at least the truth about my writer's life. Subscribe if you haven't already. Punch that like button. Tap the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on one single exciting video. Don't forget to go to vinzandri.com for all the new thrillers, including Deranged Fan, which came out last week, a few days ago, really. And the soon-to-be published Hit and Run. That's a novella, which I think you'll like a lot. You can read it like, I don't know, one sitting. Wrote it a couple of weeks ago, and it's already coming out. It's already been edited, but I haven't gone over the edits. Cover's being produced right now. The beauty of the independent side of things, the absolute sheer beauty, the quickness of it. If this were traditional world, all these projects would take a year, if not more. And in that time, I wouldn't be earning anything. So you see the need, if you want to make a living anyway, a good living, that is, maybe your spouse isn't making a good living or whatever. If you're like me and you're just, supporting yourself, you need to bring in a decent income from this if you're going to do it full time. And the only way you can really do that in 2024 is you can still publish traditionally, like I do, but you need to publish independently as well. So, and of that, you need to start thinking about publishing directly off your website to your fans, which I'm working on. I wouldn't call it a streamlined process quite yet. I'm not used to it. I should be checking my website every few hours to see if any orders have come in. And what I do is I only sell ebooks online. And if someone places an order, say for the Shroud Key, that's like right now $3.99 or something like that. Order comes in, I send them a EPUB file or something like that, and that's it. It's got me a little weirded though, because here I am sending them a file, and they can do anything they want with it. They can make babies with it and send out thousands of them or something. So I'm a little bit weirded about that part. I don't know if that works or not, but then again, how many times have I sold paper books to people, hardbacks and trade paper, and they pass it around to dozens of people, so I don't know. In any case, you need to have an independent business, or a business independent of the trades, or the traditional publishers, that is. Because I'll say it again, even if you get yourself, if you're lucky enough in this day and age to get yourself, say, $100,000 advance, and I've had major advances, way bigger than that. By the time you pay your taxes, by the time you pay your agent, by the time you get, the disbursements could take 3 or 4 years to get them all. You already have the money spent, and you're living on credit. It's just you can't win. And then if the book doesn't earn out for books, they don't want anything to do with it anymore. And so here you are, left in a lurch. What do you do what are you going to do? Get a job? At 50 or whatever, however old you are. So, but this leads me to, and I'm talking about this, one of my fellow writers and colleagues and fans, I guess, asked me to talk about this again. And I've talked about this in the past, and that is, your traditional list will be your passive income. Your independent list will be your passive income going forward for decades and decades. You hand it down to your kids, and their kids will hand it down to theirs, and whatever. It's not entirely passive though. You have to, say 5 years from now, um, I have like 250 products, books, 300 maybe even. And that's short stories, novellas, novels, under my Bear Media, my independent Bear Media label. And that's the way I write. That's not inconceivable at all. Maybe even 3 years to get 300. Because I think right now I'm up to like 120 or something like that. Over 100 independent titles. You have to you can't just let them go. You can't just keep it up there and forget about it. You have to dust the shelves, and you have to maybe every now and then change the cover to something better. Maybe even update the manuscript a little bit. You have to constantly be looking at promos, specials, and things like that. But for an hour a day, working on things, maybe even 3 hours a week, you can easily keep up your list of books easily, and for very little expense too. But let's see, a little math. I'm gonna just do this off the top of my head, and I am not good at math. Never have been. So bear with me. I'm gonna keep it as easy as possible. Say you eventually have 100 books, and the average price of those 100 books, ebooks. I'm just gonna talk ebooks only. The average price. I'm not talking audio or paper or any of that. The average price is say $3.99, right? That means, and I'm not going to include the direct sales, okay, where you get to keep everything. This is I'm talking about the Amazon publishing platform and the draft to digital and all that stuff. So you're going to get, out of $3.99, you're going to get around $2.70. Okay. So if you were to sell just one copy, one edition of each book, of 100 books, just one per day, on average, because this is all about averages. Some books are going to sell, 10 or 20 a day. Some books are going to sell nothing. But if you were to average one sale per day for 100 books, it's $270 a day, right? Times 10 is you get where I'm going here. Times 10 is 2,700 plus 2,700 is 54. So you're easily you're around $6,100 a month right there. That's just for 100 books. 100 thrillers that look good. They're great reads. People are excited about them. Now imagine that, multiply that times 3. You're talking about close to $20,000 a month. And there's no great shakes. If you were to only sell 30 copies of a novel in traditional land, they'd be like, buddy, go drive a truck for a living, because you ain't cutting it. But in independent land, you can make some serious cabbage. I'm telling you. But it takes time. It takes time. I only started taking the independent side of things seriously a few years ago, around COVID time. And it's taken me time to get people used to buying from my list instead of waiting until one of the publishers brings something out. Like I said, I can't tell you how many deals I've signed. And aside from the advances, I've had maybe 2 or 3 breakout books that have made me tens of thousands of dollars. But for the most part, losing equation. It's a losing deal. You're always worried about the next. Am I going to get another deal soon because I'm almost out of money? Am I going to get it starts like it's like this vicious cycle, but in an independent world, it is not. It's the whole thing is up to you and how much you produce, how much good work you produce. That is, anybody can write shit 60,000 times and get it out, slap a cover on it, and get it out there. But like I said before, like if I did that, it would probably be popular. So, but don't do that. Don't. Anyway, you gotta like if it's possible, if you can work up your daily word count to say 2,000 to 4,000 words a day, um, times 30, you're easily putting out a novel or two, or at least a novel, a couple novellas, or a novel, and maybe 4 or 5 short stories per month. And the more you get that, it'll be your best marketing tool. More books is your best marketing tool, hands down. And like when you think about it, like, well, that's so daunting. Like, I can't do more than a book or two a year. What if you were working like? What if you were a hired writer for Hollywood? Or I know that they don't really exist anymore, but pretend it's 30 or 40 years ago and you're a hired writer and they expect you to sit there 8 hours a day putting out, you know, screenplays or teleplays or whatever. You'd be doing that. That would be your job, And then you go home at night, hi honey, and have a martini or whatever. Eat some pot roast. That's the way people live down that way. Not anymore though. Now they're trying to get AI in there to replace the writers, the mother, what's. Anyway, I don't think that's ever going to happen. That's probably doesn't. Hopefully not in my lifetime anyway. I don't want to see that. That would be awful. But to get back to the point, if you really want to make a good living and you want to have a great retirement, you're not going to retire, but I just mean if you want to have a great retirement years, let's call it. And by retirement years, I mean anything from like 60 and up. 60 and up. Which I'm close to. Oh my God. Where'd the past 40 years go? Jesus. I don't know. I guess when you have kids and stuff, like you're so busy raising them and all that stuff. But, you need to go, if you want to have an excellent income in your retirement years, you need to have an independent business. You just do on top of traditional stuff. You really do. I think it's actually one of the most. So people are always going to want books. They're always going to read. And some of those books, don't forget, now, like I'm just talking like people buying your ebooks. That's all I'm talking. I'm not considering paper. I'm not considering audio. I'm not considering movie rights. I'm not considering television rights. I'm not considering video games. I'm not considering any of that stuff. And all that stuff will come. I've been there with the movie stuff, but no cigar, no television. Never been asked for any television rights. No inquiries there. Nor have I had any inquiries for video game. But I think the Chase Baker series would make an excellent video game, personally. But in any case, but it does happen. So like, and when those things happen, that's just like gravy. That's just like, like the lottery. So there you go. So like, if you really stick with it, if you love it, you need to love it. You need to love the game. You can't just love having written. You got to love the process. Writing should be, the most fun you have with your clothes on. That's the way I look at it. That's why I do it full time. And you can do it from anywhere in the world. So Tuesday, I leave for Italy, and I'll be working out there for a couple months. I'm only coming back to do all these doctor's appointments I got to do for my annual checkup and all that stuff. And, it's my 60,000 mile checkup. So I got to do all that stuff. Once all that's done, then I'm going back. And other than occasionally, I don't think I'm coming back. But that remains to be seen for the fall. I don't want to get ahead of my skis here because we all know I love to face plant when I'm skiing. But just remember, 100 books. If you sell one copy per day, which is nothing on average, it's $270 a day. You know, multiply that times 30 or 31 for the month, and you're like, wow, that's some serious cash. Again, we're talking averages here, and again, you know, nothing's set in stone. Some months will be better than others, you know, but if you market everything the right way, if you're prolific, you really, really have a great shot at being lucky in this game. All right, you guys, I will come to you probably from the airport on Tuesday. While I'm in Italy, I have John Hemingway's going to be a guest again, and we're going to talk about Papa Hemingway's love affair with Italy, decades-long love affair with Italy. I'm trying to get Angie Dorman-Smith on as well, if I can, talk about Hemingway's third wife, Martha Gellhorn, whom she used to know and whom she wrote about her love affair with Florence and her real love affair in Florence. And we'll have some other cool guests on while I'm out there. All right, you guys. Hope you're having a great Sunday. And I will catch you Tuesday from JFK.